you triggers the cravings. And that's where we've been through week 1. That's the process of lectures in week 1. As we now start week 2, I'm going to go through a blow-by-blow account of the stages of deterioration in harmony with the Valley of Addiction. I'm going to show you what the Valley of Addiction looks like now. For those of you who were here last week, I keep mentioning the Valley of Addiction treatment training program, but not told anybody what I mean by the Valley of Addiction. Right, we're about to find out. Okay, this is the Valley of Addiction treatment training program. We're about to go into presentation 5, the process of decay, because it's all about the process. We have to understand the pre-addiction process that took us into addiction. And we have to gain a crystal clear understanding of what an addiction is and how the process of addiction will take us to the cemetery or to recovery. Hopefully now to recovery. And I think my goal for this next series of lectures, for all of these lectures, is to get these troops empowered, educated. This is about education, empowerment and liberation to give these guys their lives back. Okay, that's where we're going. That is the introduction to the Valley of Addiction treatment training program. Okay, let's go. The Valley of Addiction. You ready for this? That, my friends, is the perfect scenario for the Valley of Addiction. Deception. It won't happen to me. Experimentation. I'm only going to try it. I try it, I like it, so I try it again. That's recreation. The more we play with it, the less reward we receive, so the more we use. That's escalation, that's addiction. Determination. Okay, I'm going to stop now. Deception. I believe I can beat this. Intervention. Deflection. Intervention. Deflection. Submission. Depression. Reflection, correction. Illumination. Recovery. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the Valley of Addiction. I need to take you now through the process of decay. We're not going very far away from the Valley of Addiction. You don't need to worry about writing this down. We'll make sure you get all the information you need. The process of decay. There it is, the embryo of every addiction I've ever worked with. It's never going to happen to me. I won't become addicted. I can do this and I can get away with it. I'm only going to do it at the weekends. I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me. Okay, now that's the deception that introduces people to the idea, the giving themselves permission to try and mind and mood altering substances. All right, but even that decision is always going to be the end of a process, the pre-addiction process, the pre-substances process of decay, unhappiness at home, dissatisfaction in the career, the loss of a loved one, the breakup of a marriage. Any of these things can happen to any of us. It might be that we suffer a loss or a tragedy, and we are determined to be strong, and we will beat this, and I'm fine, I'm okay, especially if we're men, especially if we're military men. No, we're good. We're not allowed to be weak. We're not allowed to be sensitive. We're not allowed to cry. So we may have experienced some kind of tragedy before the substances. And then that tragedy, we try to bury it emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, but it never actually goes away. This is all basic stuff. This is the pre-substance abuse, chemical dependency process of decay. So the substances were just a case of when, really, and never if. For many of us, it was just a case of when. For many of us, whilst we do tell ourselves, I'm only going to try it, I'm not going to get addicted, we actually believe that and we promise that. And then when we do start to spiral out of control, our promises are, okay, all right, I get it. Yeah, you're right. We'll stop. We really believe those promises. And to the extent that we believe those promises, we make the other people, our loved ones, believe the same promises. But it's all seasoned by deception. I'm only going to try it. Okay? So they try it. Everybody's entitled to experiment with mind and mood altering substances. In my opinion, as long as it's legal, everybody should be allowed to experiment with mind and mood altering substances. But for those who go on to become chemically dependent substance abusers or substance abusers, chemical addicts and alcoholics, for that special breed, okay, something happens to them at their first point of contact when they experiment. It creates something within them. Something changes within them. Something that wasn't there before they used is suddenly there. Okay? And as I have described before, it's in earlier lectures, it's a sense of enlightenment, it's a sense of connection, it's a sense of belonging, it's a sense of social confidence, and it creates a twisted sense of security. It's as if we found an answer. I can remember in prison many years ago, on one of my earlier prison sentences for heroin addiction related crimes, when my dad came to visit me, a good man from good stock, man, a military man of note, a really good man with integrity and morals and ethics. When he came to visit me, I was so deceived within myself. I believed if he knew how good heroin was for me, he would bring me some heroin to the prison. I really believed that. But I didn't believe that was the case when I first tried it. When I first tried it, it was like a whole change of thought. It created a paradigm shift. It created a paradigm shift and a virtual sense of enlightenment. So I then go into this virtual reality. Okay, but I'm the deceived one. There's no way did I see that. There's no way did I see that. But it was a spiritual, psychological, relational, virtual reality. That's where I was. At some level, deep in one of those chambers that's buried deep in the very psyche of who we are, somewhere deep down inside, I knew this is not right, man. But the voice of euphoria was always louder than the voice of reality. I tried it because I did not believe I would become addicted. So I tried it. I liked it. So I tried it again. And each time I tried it, I made it okay. Something within me made it okay to try again. Oh, come on, it's only a bit of weed. It's only this. So I would minimize the danger of substance abuse and chemical dependency. And I would maximize my ability to be better than this, stronger than this. I come from good people. I'm only trying it at the weekend. But what was really taking place behind the scenes, what was really taking place backstage, there was a gradual process of spiritual, psychological, relational, and identity decay. It was a process of decay. And the worse it got, the more I used, the more my defenses crumbled, the more I played with the substances, and I included other substances in my recreational drug using career. But the more I used, the less I received from the influence of the substance. So the more I used, I was addicted. If you tried to tell me I'm addicted at that point, I am going to, and I did, laugh in people's faces. addicted? What are you talking about? All right, so it's causing problems. It's